Welcome back to the Beyond the Bestseller podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Schuknecht, and today's guest is Carla Ondrasik, author of Stop Trying, The Life-Transforming Power of Trying Less and Doing More. I feel like I need this today, Carla. Welcome. And let's start out by having you tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, the book, obviously, it highlights this one word, try, that I believe really tricks us into believing that we're doing. Trying is not the same as doing. So I want everybody to stop trying and basically start doing. But really, I want everyone to become aware of what it means to kind of shine a magnifier on it, shine a bright light on that word try, because the awareness and knowing there's a difference allows you to create change in your life where you can choose not to try and now start to do instead. And I'm fascinated by it, and I've seen it change lives, like literally within 24 hours.
So tell me more about, give me an example of the trying versus doing, like something that somebody was, saying, like using that word, like that wording. Explain to me, or tell me a story of somebody who had that transformation by changing their mindset around that.
Okay, perfect. And I have a great story. So when my kids were younger, I would drive them to a park to get the bus. And it was exactly the same time every day. I'd drive to the park and then I'd hop out of the car and I'd walk the dog. And I would see this one guy walking around the park every day with these giant headphones on. And I was always curious, like, what's this guy listening to? Very meditative, circling and circling, never bothered him. And one day the headphones were off and he was like fiddling with them. And so I'm like, this is my chance. So I went up to him and I said, hi, I see you here all the time. I'm so curious, like, what are you listening to? And he said, there's so many things that I'm trying to get done in my life, and I'm listening to podcasts and I listen to books on tape, a lot of like motivational self-help things. And so I hear that word try and my brain just goes, whoa, And so perfect stranger, I asked this guy, so tell me one thing that you're trying to do. Just one thing you're trying to do. And he said, well, I was a swimmer. I'm trying to get back into the pool because I need to get physically healthy again. And we have a new pool at the YMCA. So I'm trying to go swim again. And I just looked at him and I said, why don't you stop trying to go swim and go swim? And that was it. He looked at me like, okay, see you, lady, put the headphones on. And I thought, I'm never going to see him again. And 24 hours later, same time, dropped the kids at the bus. And this guy is there waiting for me, screaming, I did it. I did it. I didn't try. I went swimming. And the trying part was getting motivated, listening to the self-help talks, thinking about, worrying about, wondering about, maybe writing it on a list of things I'm trying to do in my life. That's the trying part. The doing was go swim. Just get in the car, get your bathing suit on, and get to the pool and go swim. That to me is the most incredible example of trying versus doing and how quickly we can turn our lives around.
Nice, nice. So is the trying, like, is it it's a mindset thing, right? Like I want to, but what is that, like, what's holding us back when we're trying to do something versus doing?
Yeah. So trying is a mental activity where doing is a physical action. Nike says just do it, right? They don't say just try to do it. Right?
Yeah.
And little Yoda there is no try, right? It's do or do not. And if we have a second, we'll do it really quickly. I'll show you. The difference is there's no action for trying. That's the most amazing thing. There's literally no physical action for trying.
Yeah.
So three directions. Hold up a finger. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, don't be scared. It's painless. It's quick and painless. Okay, first direction, touch your nose. Okay, that's doing. Touch your nose, right? Put your finger back out. Second direction, do not touch your nose, right? Do not. Now, you can't do this and you can't do this. Try to touch your nose. Like physically, let me see you try to touch your nose.
What do I do?
Right? So here's the funny thing. First, there's no action. Like you're doing it or you're not. And our brain reacts the same way. It's like, wait, am I doing this or not doing this? It's the gray area. It's the struggling. It's the mind crazy, and there's a lot of collateral damage that comes with trying when you don't achieve, when you feel like you are. You hear people say, I'm trying so hard, but nothing's happening. And I'm sure they're trying with all their heart and soul. But the problem isn't that you aren't trying hard enough. It's that you're trying in the first place. So doing is different. Trying isn't doing. And I feel firmly, very strongly about that. And I just want to help people know the difference so that they can create the lives that they want and stop trying.
What brought this message to you? Like, what was the inspiration behind taking this message and helping people with it?
Yeah, it's two things. Number one, I mean, I feel like I was born this way, even as a little girl. Like if there was a contest at school, I wasn't going to try. I was going to do everything and anything. You don't win every contest, but at least you do everything you possibly can. There's nothing half-hearted. When you try, it's more half-hearted attempt or an effort, not an attempt or an effort. It's half-hearted. Trying is like it's an option. But so I was really born this way. My mindset has always been, I'm going to get it. And then my childhood actually also combined with my mindset. I was born a gambler's daughter. We were raised in Long Island, New York, and sometimes we were put in situations where, you have to sink or swim. There's no trying to get out of it. You're either going to get out of this situation well or not. And so I was raised with a really, sometimes not having a lot of option to try. So it made me very strong. And then in my careers that I've had, I've put myself in some very challenging careers. I was in music publishing where there's a lot at stake. There was 10 songs on an album and I was a publisher and there were only 10 slots out of 100,000 people that wanted their song on a record. So it's the person with the doing mindset that's going to get on that record with the goods. And so I just challenged myself constantly and I listen to people. I'm fascinated by success stories, memoirs, rags to riches. And I just see that this is the word that comes up all the time.
Yeah.
People that are trying are not the ones that are going to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned to me before we started recording, I'm not an author. This book just kind of happened, right? So tell me more about that. Like so you kind of felt drawn with this message and you wanted to help people, but what led you to actually sit down and write the book? Because that is not trying, that is doing. So how did you start doing that?
Yeah. So yes, I have been fascinated by this word and I've written about it just for myself. I actually had study groups with women about the power of writing our intentions down on paper. And then from there, I realized it wasn't just getting them out of our head and into paper, but it was the words that we use when we write the words down. So, it was a process unfolding of why am I successful? Why are successful people successful? And I really narrowed it down to that word try. And so just playing around myself, I would write and create a book cover and just fantasize about it, but never thought I would do it. And disclaimer, honesty here, I'm 62 years old yesterday.
You do not look like you're
Yeah,
62 years
yeah.
old.
So, OMG. So I kind of was toying with the idea, well, maybe I'll write a book. Like, I feel like it's my life message. That's why I'm here. No one else has written the book. If you want to know why I did it, nobody else has done it.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I don't do it now, I'm going to miss my moment. I'm going to miss the moment. And so I just, put it out there into the universe, and I was thrown into the hands of a literary agent, a friend of mine, a woman named Jill Daniel, who has a organization called Happy Women Dinners. She knew that I was fascinated with this word, and I was toying with the idea of maybe writing a book,
Hmm.
and introduced me to an agent who said, this is great, and we can do this. So I feel like if I didn't do it now, I would really regret at the end of my life that I didn't share everything I feel passionately about. And it resulted in this book. And I mean, it all happened. I was fascinated. The agent wanted to do it, and then a publisher wanted to have it. And everything that happens every day is so surprising to me. And but I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great story. So you decided to not try to write a book, but to write a book. How did you approach that writing process and the actual, because it's funny. I mean, I think of like all of the people that I talk to every day who want to write a book, who uh, sit in that place of like, I don't know if I mean, trying. I don't know that they say I'm trying to write a book, but it's like I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book, and it's like months go
No, they're
by,
trying.
years go by, right? Yeah, they're yeah. I mean,
They're
it's
trying.
I don't know that the word "try" is coming out, but that's what's happening, right? Is they're not getting it done. They're not accomplishing that goal. In fact, in my author power circle, it just came up this week where somebody said that they have been working on their book for years, not because it's taking years to do research and to write the book, but because they're not fully focusing on getting it done, right? It's like it's this thing that it's a challenge to get it done. I mean, anyone who's written a book knows that it's a lot of work. So how did you approach that process? Sorry, I know you're about to say something, so don't forget that thought. But how did you approach that process of sitting down and getting it done?
Yeah. Okay. So I want to say the people that you're talking to that are taking years and years. You see, trying to write a book allows you to lean on excuses. Well, I'm so busy with my job. Or blame, the kids need me to take them everywhere. So when we're trying, we have access to excuses and blame and no accountability. So as long as you're trying to write the book, you're not accountable to anyone. There's no consequence if you don't do it. So my process of writing the book it came out of the blue, really. I mean, I was shocked, and I thought, wow, I'm so glad I had, a lot of years and years and years of just research that I did for myself, never knowing what I would do with it. But when I got a publishing deal, within 3 months of my agent pitching it, I had a deadline. And I think a deadline is the
Yeah.
greatest gift. So I would go back to your writer's circle and say, everybody, if you don't have a publisher, pretend you do. And it wasn't a self-imposed deadline. It was a hardcore, you have to deliver this book by November if you want to be released in September of 2025. And so and just to back up also, when I got my agent, you have to put together a proposal that she's going to pitch to publishers. And that book proposal took me 9 months. But I had my time clock ticking. I know my age. I knew I had to do this. And yeah, I had the luxury. I don't have a daily job anymore. I'm not in music publishing. But even if I did, I was working till 4 in the morning. I have a life. I have a husband. I have kids. I'm on the board of the zoo. I'm the president of my HOA. I'm a busy person, but I wrote my book no matter what. I wrote every day. And so I think having a deadline,
Yeah.
even if you create one and make it up for yourself, is really important. You have to have the light at the end of the tunnel. And until you do that, then you allow yourself access to all of the excuses of why you can't get it done, and they become very real, and that prevents us, no matter what it is,
Yeah.
losing weight, writing a book, finishing a painting, cleaning the garage, as long until you give yourself a time limit and start doing the work, you're going to stay stuck in this area of I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I mean, I fall in that category too, where I've been talking about this. I want to write this book on how to develop your personal brand. And I keep saying like, yeah, I'm going to work on that when I have time. And right now, I have 5 million things going on and I don't have the time. And yeah, I'm getting closer to like, I just need to put a deadline on this. And then like, that's what I'm working towards. I think sometimes I have the fear of, if I put a deadline on it, I won't get it done until then, right? Like, I don't want to say, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months from now, because like then I'll just put it off longer, right? Like instead of like thinking that like,
And
no,
you're
but
just
that will make
giving
me
your
start working.
you're just putting an excuse in there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's two excuses. I don't want to do the deadline and I think I might, you so that's a process you can do. So I would say to anybody, think of something you've been trying to do that you're not getting done and ask yourself, what's my try? Why am I trying? What excuses am I putting in there? Who am I blaming for it not happening? It is such a sexy thing to hold on to. Like to try, we don't want to give it up because it is such a nice little safety
yeah,
net.
yeah.
But let me tell you, the good stuff doesn't happen until you get rid of it. So I would love for you to give yourself a deadline, like a real one.
Yeah.
Find someone that's going to hold you accountable and make it happen. I had help. I didn't. I never told anybody what I was doing. By the way, that's one of the tools in the book is the power of silence. There were. This is really important key also to give yourself the time limit, but don't tell anybody. The power of silence is amazing. Like,
Okay, okay.
don't tell anyone you're finishing your book by March of 2026 because that's powerful. Now it's all yours. You don't have to give any power away. You don't need comments from anybody, good, bad, or ugly. It's your secret, and you're going to go do it. There's something motivating about it and exciting about it, and you don't subject yourself to anybody else's comments about whether you can do it or not. And so I didn't tell anybody. I just started doing it. And leaders, I find the people that are running companies, they're not really talking about everything. They're just doing it, right? They're not trying, they're doing. And so you have to treat yourself like a business. Like, look, this is what I do. Am I going to be regretful if I don't do it? How long can I keep saying I'm going to get it done? And how bad am I going to feel for myself a year from now if I haven't done it? Like, that's the collateral damage that comes along with you allowing yourself the luxury to wait. So, gosh,
Yeah.
there's so many reasons to just do it.
Yeah, yeah. That's such different advice from what I usually hear, on like, I don't know, social media will say, be be public about those things that you want, like put it out there because then you have that accountability, or now that you've said it, like then you feel like you have to follow through. But it's a different approach. It's like, no, just do it for yourself because you're not doing it for other people. You're doing it for yourself, depending on what it is, but for the most
Yeah.
part. So, yeah, what are some of the other tools in the book? You mentioned that's one of the tools in the book. What are some of the other tools to get out of the trying mindset and into the doing mindset?
Okay. I always tell everybody start small. Like do something, like pick something around the house that you've been trying to do. And a great example is always the junk drawer because we all have them. Everybody has. And by the way, we all try. Every single one of us tries. We're taught to try, right? Try harder, try your best, try again. So don't feel bad about trying, but get yourself, relearn, unlearn that. But so I would say if there's a junk drawer in the kitchen or in your office that's just crammed with empty tape dispensers and pens that don't work and old receipts, do it. Do it. Do that one thing that you've been putting off. Because what happens is then you're motivated now. It's like, wow, that took me 8 minutes. It looks so good. Now I'm going to tackle under my bathroom sink. And now I want to go clean out my closet. And now I want to start writing my book. Like that's how it happens. You start small and you can see how it's so much messier in our brain than actually just doing it. All that thinking about and all the excuses and all the blame. It's like, you know what? Doing it so much easier. Just getting it done. So start small. I would say really be focused and have a really great motivation. So you literally have to stop and think about, like for me, my motivation to write this book was two very powerful reasons. Was I told my kids, who are now 24 and 25, like when I decided to do it, yes, I'm going to write this book. I'm doing it. I finally decided I'm going to do it. And I wanted to show them that my words matter. That, I mean, I've been teaching them this message their whole lives anyway, so why stop now? And this is a big ticket item. And so, for them to say, Mom, I'm so proud of you. Like, wow, you did it. And to lead that for that example was amazing. So that was one reason. And then the other is I imagined myself like, if I was dying and laying on my deathbed, it would be a regret. It would be a huge regret that I didn't do it. So that was my motivation, a very
Yeah.
strong motivation to do it. So start small, have a good motivation, and have fun. Have fun with doing, you know?
Yeah. You mentioned the something that, took 8 minutes in the end. Isn't that always the case? Like something that we put off forever and ever. Not writing a book, but like something like that, cleaning a drawer, or I will get overwhelmed by things sometimes, and then I sit down to do it, and it's like that took me like 10 minutes. Like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yes, it's crazy, right? There's this thing called Eat the Frog. Have you ever heard of it?
I have, yeah.
It's if you have to eat a frog, do it first thing in the morning. So all those things that you're dreading, the thing that you're most not looking forward to doing, just go get it done. And it's done. And then the rest of the day is easier. So, yeah, I don't know why we do that to ourselves, but every time it's like that wasn't so painful, that was so much easier than I thought it was. That's the trying.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think this topic, there's a lot of things that we put off and that we, say we're trying to do, whatever. But I think this is very relevant to those who are thinking about writing a book, are in the process of writing a book, that are dragging their feet on that. So, any other tips that you would give to that group of people, people who are wanting to have that published book in hand? You mentioned your motivation around, like the time is ticking, and I'm not getting any younger, so I want to get this book done. What are some of the other, just advice that you have for people who are maybe dragging their feet on that book and getting it written?
Yeah. And well, number one, I would ask yourself, how will you feel 5 years from now if you haven't done it yet? Because that's the negative, the negative self-talk. I'm a loser, or I'm lazy, or I'm weak, those kind of things that we'll say to ourselves, and we don't deserve that because we're all so capable. Look, if I can write a book and have it come out, anybody can. I have never read a book about writing a book. I never fantasized about being a writer. Okay? I had a great idea that I really wanted to share. So that was my reason. So whatever your reason is, and if you're passionate about it and you want to share your story or your gift or your lesson or your craft, whatever it is you want to write your book about, and you're passionate about it, it's worth it. It's worth it. And you have to write it as if you don't care if anyone's going to buy it or not. You're writing it for you because you want to create this body of work because you have something to share. And you can hope that it'll resonate with them and they'll want to, read it as well. But there was a book when I did get the agent. I didn't have a book. I had nothing. I had like an idea. I had little scraps of paper of notes. And she said the first thing you have to do before you even write your proposal is get the book You Were Born to Write by Kelly Notaras.
Yeah.
Telling you, it was a Bible for me. And I read that book in a weekend, and I could see this is what I have to do. This is what a proposal looks like. This is what self-publishing looks like. This is what a real publisher deal looks like. And it was just like everything I needed to know in one book. So get that book. That's a great launching pad. And then secondly, just literally, it's that, to me, creative visualization is just fantasy. It's just fantasizing. So fantasize that you have a book deal and someone's waiting for you to turn in your manuscript, and write as if you're a writer. Imagine it's your second book and you have to meet your deadline. Like, just create whatever fantasy you have to and write that book and enjoy it and do it for yourself. That's the key. Do it for
Yeah.
yourself.
I love that. So interesting timing. This last weekend, I found a photo I had photoshopped and used for my visualization time, and it was a picture of me in a boardroom, like looking like a boss, and I had at the bottom like running a company. And I that was my visualization back 3 years ago when I was an employee in a company and thinking about trying to start my own company, right?
Yeah.
And I had long forgotten that, but it came up in my on my iPad, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this was my dream 3 years ago, and here I am, just celebrating my 1 year anniversary of running my company."
Isn't it
And
amazing?
yeah, so I love that power of visualization, and I think it's so true. Is visualizing yourself as that published author. I have to. I'm bad at visual. I can't visualize things, but so if I create an image, I will look at it and think about that. That's how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
But Photoshop it, like whatever you need to do to create a book award for yourself or whatever. I love
Yes.
that.
Or go to Barnes and Noble. I mean, we still have brick and mortar bookstores, and I just would walk around and look in the self-help section. And I was always, interested anyway, as just I love reading self-help books. And imagine my book was on the shelf. And, now it is. It
Yeah,
is. And
yeah.
it's amazing. So I think there's so much power in that. But more than that, I would say, of everything you've asked me, the top advice would be to give yourself a deadline.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
very motivating.
Yeah.
Like a
All
hard
right.
deadline.
All right, Carla, I'm putting a deadline on this book. I mean, I've actually made really, really good progress this week because I finally was like, I need to just start getting this done. Because I'm very motivated to get it done. But yes, I will. I'm going to put a deadline on it, and then I will report back.
Well, and
So
also, listen, the whole book. So when you say you're trying, even to yourself, okay, you are allowing for all of that stuff that we've talked about, the blame, the excuses, the no accountability. But the minute you say I'm doing it, your brain, it's neuroscience, okay? When you say I'm trying, the brain goes from park into neutral. It's lighting up a little bit. It's like something's going to happen. But when you go from park to I'm doing, your brain is lit. It's like now it knows action is imminent and we are moving. So when you say the words, you have to say the words, I am going to have my book completely written, not completely edited, but completely written by March. Now you have a complete roadmap going on inside your brain, and all those, neurotransmitters and the synapses are combined, and now they're going to go make something happen. And it's so powerful that you can actually create change in somebody else. Like you can have them do something in your favor by changing their words. So if the next time someone says to you, I'll try to call you back today, when you make them say or ask them to say, will you call me back today or not? Just ask them the question, do you think you'll be calling me back today or not? And the minute they say, I will call you back today, you have now redirected their language. And now their brain knows they're going to call you back. They're more likely to call you back when they say the words, I'll call you back. So you have to say it to yourself. You have to say it out loud. I will have my book complete, not edited or whatever your things are, by March 1st. So say the words.
all right, I'm doing it.
Doing it.
I'm doing it. Well, thank you, Carla. We will include a link to your book in the show notes. But how else can viewers, listeners, learn more about you and what you're doing, connect with you online?
Okay, so yeah, besides buying the book, which is a quick, fun read, I would say follow me on Instagram because every day, 7 days a week, I've got really fun kind of, little hits to remind you, snippets of other talks I've done to not try. It'll bring attention. It's like a muscle. We have to just kind of keep learning that lesson until it becomes second nature. So it's Carla Ondrasik at Instagram. My website is stop-trying.com. And when you sign up, you'll get a link to the Try Baby test. There's a fall reset thing, and there's some stuff that's really great on there. So my website, Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on LinkedIn, all the usual social medias. But my favorite I'd say is Instagram.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, Carla, thank you for sharing your message with the world, and thank you for coming on and sharing your book with us.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Looking for a community of women writers to support and inspire you on your journey? Join the Author Power Circle. Connect weekly with fellow authors, stay accountable, and move your book forward in an encouraging community. Learn more at kellyshuckneck.com.